Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Cutter One. I am your host, Just Jay, maker of trouble, warrior of the culture, watcher of the looker at cameras. Um, anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a great day. I just wanted to touch base. There comes these moments when you just kind of like, see, told you. Um, and of course it gets lost on the individuals in question, but I just wanted to touch base on this because this came out today. Let's take a look. Oh, look, Rings of Power was already dethroned as Amazon's number one prime show by a new series. So less than a week after its finale episode, a week, given a week, um it's already been kicked out of the number one spot at Amazon. This isn't like just in general. This is at Amazon. So let's take a look at what we got here. Rings of Power dethroned as number one Amazon Prime show by new series. After 6 weeks as the number one piece of content streaming on Amazon Prime Video, the hit TV series The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, has officially fallen from the top spot. The Tolkien adaptation has been dethroned by the latest new show to arrive on the streamer. The new series, The Peripheral, based on the novel by William Gibson and starring Chloe Grace Moretz. Only 2 episodes are available to watch, more arriving weekly for the series, but that hasn't stopped the new show from jumping to the top spot and beating out The Rings of Power. Since it premiered, The Rings of Power has been ratings dynamite for Amazon Prime Video. I don't know about that, which is what they were hoping for after the reported price tag that the series cost the streamer. It was reported after just one day of being available when two episodes that the show had already broken multiple records across Prime Video. Even Nielsen, the third party ratings tracker, has shown how successful the series has been, even beating out HBO's House of the Dragon up until this week. I'm calling shenanigans on that one. We've already seen, I showed you in a previous episode from like 2 days ago, that from episode 2 to 3 of Rings of Power, they lost 40% of their viewing audience. Okay. You don't go from 12.5 million viewers to 7.25 million viewers and say that you're winning. You lost half your viewership. Anyway, the peripheral centers on Flynn Fisher Moretz, a woman trying to hold together the pieces of her broken family in a forgotten corner of tomorrow's America. Flynn is smart, ambitious, and doomed. She has no future until the future comes calling for her. The peripheral is master storyteller William Gibson's dazzling, hallucinatory glimpse into the fate of mankind and what lies beyond. So, yeah, I just wanted to say, see, I told you. As much as they try to spin it, and they will, and they're continuing to spin it, and they're going to try several different tactics, which they've already begun doing. Um, uh, no matter how you look at it, the show did not perform up to the standards that, or up to the level that they were hoping it would. It didn't win over the fans, at least not any of the fans that were knowledgeable. You may have won over people who normies or people who aren't familiar with Tolkien's work and Tolkien's lore. Maybe some who might have had some familiarity with Peter Jackson's films, but in large part, anybody familiar with Tolkien and his works was not happy with the way the show was turning out, which is why, again, in a previous episode, I mentioned that 71% of their audience was 35 and older, because those were the people that are familiar with Tolkien's work, and they thought the show was crap. They did not win over the younger crowd. Even though the younger crowd wouldn't have, you would think that the younger crowd would be less exposed to Tolkien and stuff like that. But apparently, they just thought the show was crap. It wasn't about the lore, for at least from what I could see. It was just that they thought the show was crap. So they didn't win over the demographics that they wanted to. Again, they lost from episode 2 to episode 3. There was a 42% drop in viewership. I don't know the numbers for episodes after that. We haven't seen those, but it definitely did not perform the way Amazon was hoping it would. So, but now you'll see the articles, and I've already seen them where they say, "Oh, it was so great, and here's what we can do. What's going to happen in season two, and it was so great." And people are comparing it to the Peter Jackson films, and the fans that were criticizing it are all evil trolls, and and now you're starting to see like the sort of quasi hit pieces. Well, Peter Jackson's version wasn't, universally loved when it was first released, and Christopher Tolkien had problems with it. And here's ways that, Peter Jackson sort of, fucked around with the lore and stuff like that. And some of those criticisms are true, but at the end of the day, everybody said, you know what? It actually was pretty damn good what Peter Jackson did. It's the gold standard in what a fantasy adaptation should be. And yes, there were changes, and the fans know that, and we've come to accept it, and we understood why though. And that was the key thing. Peter Jackson's changes were done to either keep the story moving along, or parts that he felt were extraneous and didn't impact the overall story, like Tom Bombadil. Okay, while Tom Bombadil in the book has a big part and a big role, ultimately in how the story of Frodo and the One Ring and all of that plays out, Tom Bombadil's not a big player. Okay. Um, so yeah, so you're already seeing those articles because they're trying to spin it every which way to Sunday to make it sound like, oh, this is the bestest thing ever on TV. It's not. Again, a week later, and it's already been pushed out of the number one spot on its own network. Okay, Amazon's $1 billion show couldn't last a week at number one on Amazon after its finale. You would think the hype, if it was as great as they're saying, you would think the hype and people would still be talking it and watching it again, to catch things that they missed. No, everyone's just like, yeah, moving on. Anyway, I just wanted to touch base because that came through today, and I just thought it was funny. So anyway, yeah, fuck Amazon. I don't care about them, and I'm glad that their show is turning out to be a disaster. A $1 billion disaster. I love expensive disasters. Anyway, I hope you're doing good. I hope you're having a great weekend. And if you like what I'm doing here, leave a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love watching the conversations, and y'all getting into it. I've seen some conversations, and I'm like, hey, okay, these people know what the hell they're talking about. So good on you. So yeah, leave a comment down below, hit the like button, share the video, but most importantly, if you could subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to build up a thing here where, we have a bunch of people who know what they're talking about, who are into lore and different lores. I got my Straight Outta Tamriel shirt for Elder Scrolls lore, for all my Elder Scrolls fans that are out there. So anyway, please subscribe. It would help me immensely, and I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, peace out. Peace.